Las Vegas housing market just shifted dramatically, and if you're not paying attention, you're gonna miss the best opportunity we've seen in years. Or if you're selling, you're about to get blindsided. Over the next 15 minutes or so, I am breaking down exactly what's happening with the most current data, real MLS numbers from November 2025, which is really going to be about the October time frame, and today's mortgage rates and fresh economic data. No clickbait, no hype, just the numbers that actually matter. And stick around to the about 8-minute mark where I'll show you the one thing almost every buyer is missing that could save you tens of thousands of dollars. You know what? My name is Eric, and over the last decade or so, I've helped people buy and sell homes here in the Las Vegas area, especially my military families moving to Nellis and Creech Air Force bases. As a retired Air Force officer, I've guided many families through the PCS move and many others who are not military. And this market right now is about having the right information at the right time. So let's dive on in there. So let's start with the big picture. 70% of American homeowners have mortgage rates that are below 5% right now, keeping them from selling. But that's changing. The Federal Reserve cut rates twice this fall, September and October, and mortgage rates have responded, dropping from over 7% in January to around 6% now. That's huge for your monthly payments. But here's what most people get wrong. They think what's happening nationally is the same everywhere. Las Vegas is seeing something way more dramatic. So here are 3 numbers you need to know. Number 1, we have an inventory explosion. We have about 7,500 single-family homes for sale without offers, and that's up about 30% from last year. We've hit 4.8 months of inventory, and why does that matter? Under 4 months is a seller's market. Over 6 months is a buyer's market. At 4.8 months, we're right at a nice little sweet spot, moving towards that buyer's market where buyers are having some real power. For condos and townhomes, even better, at 5.4 months with 48% more inventory than last year. Number 2, time is your ally. Homes are sitting for 55 days on average, up from 39 days last year. About half of those homes sell within 30 days now, compared to nearly 60% last year. No more rushing into decisions because you're afraid to lose a house. Number 3, sellers are cutting prices. During the week of November 7th alone, almost 40% of single-family homes had price reductions. Overall, 75% of homes are selling for less than the original asking price. So that's some serious buyer leverage. So let's start breaking this down by neighborhoods. In Las Vegas proper, because it gets complicated. Most Las Vegas is not what you think it's Las Vegas. We had 1,087 homes sold in October with a median price of $485,000. Henderson had 338 sales, and that was at about $520,000. North Las Vegas, which is of course still the most affordable area, had 221 sales at $420,000. You know, that's a $100,000 difference purely based on location alone. For condos, Las Vegas had 340 sales at $262,500. Henderson, that was at $351,000. North Las Vegas was bringing it in at $319,990. Condo prices are down 9.5% from last year. That is real money back in your pocket. Near the military bases, I'm starting to see families who are finally able to take their time finding homes that actually work instead of grabbing what's available. Just last month, I was working with a tech sergeant, PCSing in Nellis with his family. 2 years ago, families like that were making offers sight unseen. This time, we spent 3 days looking at 8 properties, negotiated $15,000 off, and got sellers to cover $8,000 in closing costs. And we caught some AC issues during inspection. That's the difference this market has been making. So why is this happening? 3 major forces are driving this shift. First, builders are offering insane incentives. Century Communities just ran up their purple tag special with FHA and VA loan rates of 3.875% fixed. Toll Brothers is offering 2-1 buy downs of 3.49% for year 1 and 4.49% for year 2, and then 5.49% for years 3 through 30. Plus up to $75,000 in flex cash for closing costs and rate buydowns or price discounts. These things are unheard of. Here's the real math. A $475,000 new home with that 3.49% first year rate means a payment of about $2,130. A $460,000 resale home at today's rate of about 6.12%, you're looking at a payment of $2,786. That's $656 more per month, which is $7,872 more per year, even if you're buying a cheaper house. That thing that I mentioned at the beginning that most buyers miss. They see the new home priced at a higher price and skip it without running to the monthly payment numbers. Over 5 years, you're taking $12,000 to $36,000 in savings. Second, sellers are starting to adjust to reality. Some are, most are. When nearly half of all sellers have cut prices, the market has clearly changed. The days of listing high and waiting, they're over. Third, mortgage rates dropped significantly from over 7% in January to 6.07 to about 6.12% today. On a $400,000 loan, that's about $250 less per month, or $3,000 a year in savings. So here's the question. Is Vegas going to crash? I want to tell you why it's not going to crash. Let's address that crash question directly. Clark County's population is growing at 1.7% just in 2025, jumping up projected 2% in 2026. That's real people needing places to live. Employment is forecast at 1.1% growth in 2026. People are still moving here for no state income tax, affordability compared to California, and economic diversity beyond casinos into healthcare, manufacturing, and tech. The Las Vegas Convention Authority is adding over 1,100 new hotel rooms in 2025 alone. Each room creates multiple jobs. Compare this to 2008. Too many homes, reckless lending, economic collapse. We had none of that today. We're moving from 4.8 months of inventory towards a balanced 6 months. That's not collapsing. That's correcting to a healthy level. So why don't we have a good buyer's action plan? If you're a buyer, here's what to do. 1, get approved now with rates at that 6.07%, which is much better than the 7% we saw earlier this year. And, I've said this before, be careful when you go into some of these lenders because, they got their own realtors. They want to work with it because they want to protect their loan. I used to say it in the past, start with the lenders. I've learned my lesson. At least talk to me first, okay? Or talk to a realtor first. I've learned my lesson. 2, offer below asking, especially on homes that have been listed more than 30 days, especially those over 60 days, or with price reductions. Remember, 75% of homes sell below asking now. 3, explore new construction with those builder incentives because they're so good. Run the monthly payment math. You've got to run the math. A more expensive home can cost $200 to $600 less per month. Most Buyers never calculate this. 4. Take your time. Get through inspections. Negotiate repairs and closing costs. You got the power now. For condos and townhomes, you have even more leverage. 48% more inventory. Prices down 9.5%. 5.4 months of supply. Military families, you know I love you. This market finally lets you breathe. Find the right neighborhood near base with good schools without losing out to cash buyers. That's huge for your family and the stability during your PCS move. Let's take a seller reality check now. Sellers, I'm going to be straight with you based on this month's real data. The market has changed. Here's how to adapt. Price it right from day one. 44% of sellers have cut price. Don't wait 60 days overpriced. Every week your house sits on the market, buyers think something's wrong. Work with your agent who knows the current selling price, not the one from 6 months ago, and price competitively immediately. You need to get this through your heads. Expect right now 55 days on the market for a single family home, possibly 77 days if you have a condo, if it's priced right and according to where that condo is and what the HOAs are. Because the condos with those high HOAs, they're donezo. I'm talking to a lot of people. We got condos out there with $400, $500, $600 HOAs. Ain't nobody coming to see them. Make sure your home looks great with professional photos. In this market, presentation matters because buyers have choices again. I saw this report that the majority of sellers do not believe we are in a buyer's market and that things have changed. And those who don't believe that are being hurt. I'm going to leave it at that. The good news, well-priced homes still sell. Half of all single-family homes sell within 30 days. The key word, well-priced. The market hasn't died. It's just become selective. So what's coming next? Look ahead through 2026. Prices will stay relatively flat. Zillow forecasts a slight 0.4% dip from May 2025, which is passed through May 2026 for Las Vegas. That's not a crash. That's stabilization. Some experts predict 2 to 3% growth instead. Truth is probability. Flat with pockets of growth in high demand areas. Inventory peaked in late October. Right now, then drops seasonally, but remains elevated. Mortgage rates should continue easing. Most experts predict low 6% range through year end, potentially high 5% range in 2026 if inflation keeps cooling. Jobs will keep growing at over 1% annually, supporting housing demand. Long-term perspective, home prices are expected to increase about $61,000 from 2025 through 2030. That's significant wealth building. This cooling period is creating a healthier, more sustainable market. $61,000 is nothing to sneeze at. And I know some home sellers are going like, but wait a minute. These folks over here, they doubled their money in a few years. Those are called the COVID unicorn times. Those times are over. So what's the bottom line? The Las Vegas housing market in November 2025 is transitioning from a crazy seller's market into a balanced, normal market. For buyers, more choices, more time, serious negotiating rooms, and rates a full percentage point lower than January. For sellers, be realistic, strategic, and understand the game has changed. For everyone, this is healthier than unsustainable frenzy that we had in recent years, COVID. The biggest opportunity, most people don't understand what's really happening. While headlines talk about uncertainty, the Las Vegas data shows a clear pattern for informed buyers and sellers. The question is, will you be one of them? I put together a free Las Vegas buyer's guide breaking down neighborhoods near Nellis and Creech, including a monthly payment calculator for those builder incentives and exact negotiation questions Links in the description. It's completely free and will save you hours of research and potentially thousands of dollars. I also have some other Las Vegas guides. It's all down there for you guys. Just go grab it. Drop a comment if you're buying or selling or watching. What are you seeing in your neighborhood? I read every comment and I try to answer your questions. From military family, you know the drill. Alpha Mike Foxtrot for everyone else. Remember, in Vegas, we don't just gamble with cards. Sometimes Washington gambles with policy. The question is whether they're making a smart bet or doubling down on disaster. Time will tell, but whatever happens, I'll be here to break it down for you with real data, not hype. Thanks for being part of this community. We'll always keep the lights on for you here. And if you want to stay ahead of what's happening here in the Vegas real estate, the next video right there will keep you in the loop. I'll see you there.